today, Brian asked me to talk to you about muscle a little, about ketones, muscle, and exercise. And in particular, I'm going to focus on the aspect of muscle that matters to all of us. So for some who are athletes or ex-athletes, they have a special interest in muscle, but we all have an interest in muscle because as we age, our loss of muscle and mobility is the primary driver that takes away our independence. It's how we end up losing our independence. The number one way is loss of muscle. So this matters to all of us. And as I'll mention as we go on, even if you're a young person, you start losing muscle, particularly fast twitch muscle, as early as 25 years old, and certainly by 30. And so a young person can build essentially a bank account of muscle that they can draw on in later age and maintain mobility and health. This is a really significant challenge. It's a broad societal challenge, and it's one that is only getting worse as the baby boomers start to move through the process, the aging process. And as everyone knows, this loss of muscle leads to frailty and it leads to falls. So fast twitch, that tells you a lot right there. These are the muscles that accommodate surprise. They accommodate when you're out of balance. So we're all out of balance every day. For an older person, most of the fast twitch muscle is very much at risk. And so it's not just diminished vestibular function and loss of balance, but it's the loss of fast twitch muscle that causes us to fall. And then once you fall, you know the story. Typically it involves hips. At the age of 80, you have half of what your maximum muscle mass was. Half. Mass isn't the main issue. And essentially there's a threshold, and it's different across different people. Muscle is an endocrine organ. Muscle is not just for moving you, it's part of your metabolism, and it's an endocrine organ. And it controls glucose and much else. And as you start to lose muscle, at a threshold, important organs start shutting down. And this is an end-of-life scenario. You only have two choices. They're both good: resistance training and nutrition, and that includes ketogenic diet.
We actually found that on a ketogenic diet, you gain just as much muscle at a whole body level, and we looked at the molecular level, we found the same thing. Turns out when you're on a ketogenic diet, your body can actually internally create its own carbs in the muscle, and it doesn't need high carbs in the diet to do so.
And the unique thing about ketones is it works on both processes. So one of them is the building muscle component, which we call muscle protein synthesis. Ketones themselves, our lab has shown that ketones themselves increase muscle protein synthesis. So that's one part of the spectrum. The other part is muscle protein breakdown, what happens when we get older, what happens when we tear up muscle tissue. It's also been shown that ketones prevent a lot of that muscle protein breakdown from happening. So it's really favoring that right side component of building muscle and being anabolic to tissue that needs it the most.
The main point though is take responsibility for your own health. Ketones are good in terms of biogenesis and general function. And a ketogenic diet and exogenous ketones are good in that respect.